I want to start off by saying Barakatha Yahweh, Barakatha Yaharashai, Barakatha Yahweh, Barakatha Yaharashai. Call halal Yahweh by Hashem Yaharashai. Call halal Yahweh by Hashem Yaharashai by Hashem Rakak Wadash. Double honors to the elders and apostles at Great Millstone that told me this doctrine in truth and sincerity. Shalom to the elect. The Heavenly Father's name is Yahweh, which means He is or He exists. By Hashem, in the name of His only begotten Son, who the world ignorantly calls Jesus Christ. We know His name to be Yaharashai, which means He is the deliverer, He is the Savior for the Hebrew Israelites from the pedigree of your father. By Hashem, in the name of the Rakak Wadash, which means the Holy Spirit, that's able to give us the knowledge, wisdom, and understanding of who we are, which are the true Hebrew Israelites. For so-called Negro, so-called Latino, so-called Native American, or of the speckled bird, looking like the other nations, in your spirit bear witness with our spirit that we are the children of Yahweh Hashem Rashai. You could be one of the elect. Shalom. We would discontinue from our heritage because we went off following after false gods and false idols, not following the law, statute, commandments that was given to us by our forefathers. And because of those offenses, we were sent to captivity. But through our Lord Yahawashi HaMashiach being that perfect sacrifice in the flesh to the Heavenly Father, He's been given all power to be able to sit on the right-hand side of the Heavenly Father Yahweh, to be able to open the seals of this book, to be able to give the understanding to the disciples, the apostles, the prophets, and the men on down, to be able to wake up the tabernacle of David before the sad destruction. And with that knowledge, wisdom, understanding, we're able to know who our oppressor is, which is Esau, Edom, which is the so-called white man of today. Esau means wasted the way he is, and they are the biblical Edomites that it speaks about in the scriptures, that in the latter days would have the fatness of the earth and would be able to control it through their monetary system and be able to deceive the nations through their sorcery, and they would rule with the great sword. Okay, they would be coming down with great wrath because they know it that they have but a short time. Okay, going into Esau, Edom, trying to bring in his new world order, his Nova Soda Sicorium, which is on the back of his our bill. But the Lord has brought forth His holy prophets to be able to have the mysteries, the mysterion, the blueprint of what Esau, Edom would be doing. And the job of a prophet would be to look out for, the warnings of what Esau, Edom would be doing. And one of those signs is right here. It says the WEF orders governments to prepare for billions of social credit prisoners as spy bills enacted around the world. So what Esau, Edom is doing is he's creating a siege, which is a military tactic to be able to have the people that are inside bow down to their system, which is their beast system, okay, which is the New World Order, a one world government, a one world military, a one world religion. And that one world religion is you taking a device the size of a rice grain embedded inside of your hand or your forehead so they can be able to control your buying and selling. Okay, on that device, it will have information like your social credit score, okay, like your carbon footprint, and what you say and what you do will be held accountable against you, okay? Far as what you follow, what you're following right now, if you're following, the truth, the true men of the Lord, then you would be, considered on their list. Far as you have the red list, which is what the prophets. You have the blue list, which are the follower of the prophets. Then you have the yellow list, the people that are just, simple, that are just in the world, that are just, they're going to take whatever Esau, Edom offers them. And then you have the black list, which are the people that are bringing out certain truths, but they don't have the covering of Yahweh Shemar Shai. Okay, because they already have where they're categorizing people and putting them in certain categories by tracking your information. Okay, now they're just openly telling you that they're tracking your information. Far as what's going on in France, they passed an unrighteous decree where they're just openly can turn on your microphone or turn on your, to be able to record you. Okay, and to be able to listen in. But they've already been doing that. Okay, if you have a smart TV or if you have your phone, whatever that you log into a certain app or whatever, it says, do you want to accept these cookies or certain things like that, as far as these notifications. And what you're doing is you're letting them come into your privacy. Okay, what Esau Edom is doing is he's taking away your so-called privacy and offering you security. And that security is them watching your every movement, tagging your every movement. What you say and what you do will be your social credit score. Okay, and they're cornering the market far as those that don't comply with their mandates. Okay, and that's the same thing. That's really what the Lord is doing. The Lord Yahweh Shemar Shai controls everything, both good and evil. And really what the Lord is doing is he's controlling the market far as the people, far as whether you stand for righteousness or you stand for wickedness. And if you're caught in the middle of that great sword that's coming through of this word, if you're caught in the middle, you will get cut with the sword far as that spiritual sword. And then if you don't comply far as the reproof and the rebuke, then the Lord is going to come down with the plagues that are said in this book, the bloodshed, the strife, and the calamity. Okay, because there's no in between. Okay, there's no in between. You trying to be in between? Oh, I'm kind of in the truth. I'm kind of not. Esau Edom is the Lord's left hand on the left hand. Okay, and he's the executioner that's coming down with great rain. And this is one of the signs. Because what does it say? Privacy will soon become totally obsolete. Yeah, so that's already been like that. Okay, where they're always constantly in your business and what you do. That's why they have Facebook. That's why they have TikTok, Instagram. Everyone's life story is right there on the computer. Okay, but now they're just openly telling you that we're gonna take away. You will owe nothing and be happy. Okay, so real quick, what is a social credit system, right? Okay, so the dealing of a social credit system with individuals focus on financial trustworthiness of individual citizens. The dealing of a system with individuals is primarily focused on a debt repayment through major violations of the law have also been sanctioned. So you have this going on in China, where if you don't comply with certain mandates, or if you say something against the president, what happens is you're not able to have certain luxuries, far as taking the train or taking the bus or certain things like that. And what they do is they'll put you on a picture, of say a person's jaywalking. They'll say, "Oh, this guy jaywalked," and they'll put your face right on the thing. Okay, and how are they reading these certain things? Through facial recognition, which is part of the gradualism to go into what the metaphod, which the metaphod is the forehead that it speaks about in Revelation 13 and 16 and 17. Okay, that forehead where they want to put that device is embedded inside of you. Okay, to be able to know exactly who you are. Because with the phone, you could be able to put the phone down. And with the president or the CEO from a Nokia, Pekko Lundmark, he said that, in the future, as far as their 2030 agenda, they want to have, the phone will be no more, and the phone will be embedded inside of the people. Okay, and you just had the WEF say that if you want to be a part of the CBDC, it's going to be implanted inside of your body. When you go into the word implant, it goes into insert into a vast part of your body. Okay, which goes again, Revelation 13 and 16, which is something that's physical. That's how they're going to be able to have the social credit prisoners as the spy bills enact around the world. So what are they spying on? They're spying on what you say and what you do. Okay, are you following, far as who are you following, who are you subscribing to? So what are they doing? They're formulating, evidence, on you, okay, far as, who you follow. Okay, we can be able to get them for this and that. They're making what offender for that word. Let me get that real quick. This is Isaiah 29 and 21. That make a man offender for a word, and lay a snare for him that reproveth in the gate, and turn aside a just for a thing of naught. So, making an offender for a word. So, if you preach this word in truth and sincerity, okay, then you're going to be deemed a dissident, and they're going to bring you to what these different camps, because it speaks about in Revelation 2 and 10 that some of us shall be put into prison, which goes into these different FEMA camps that they have already set up, which is that snare, which is also that trap. Okay, that reprove in the gate. We're supposed to be reproving in the gate, far as reproving, the what's going on in the world, because we are meant, the prophets are contrary to what Esau Edom's liking. Okay, it speaks about that wisdom of Solomon too. Okay, we are contrary to what they're doing, and what they're pushing is a dystopian, Marxism, totalitarianism, communism regime on the people, to have everyone bow down to what they want. And they are the ones that are coming with these unelected officials to place unrighteous decrees, draconian measures on the people. Okay, and this is all through the elites that are in the background that are sending forth these cult of personalities that you see today. Klaus Schwab, Yuval Noah Harari, Bill Gates. These are, Elon Musk. Um, these are all set up as people, the cult of personalities that are out there pushing the agenda of the elites that are in the background, which are the so-called Rothschilds, the so-called white men, which are the Rothschilds, the Rockefellers, the Oppenheimers, the DuPonts, the Warburgs, and the Schiffs, the ones that are bringing forth the unrighteous decrees, the Patriot Acts, the censorship, and deeming what is actually hate speech and what is not. Coming with their new speak, coming with their own agenda. Okay, so let me read this again. That make a man offender for a word. So what is the word? This word that we're bringing out through the power of Yahweh Shema Shai. This word is a decree, is a mandate. Okay, for all those that are Hebrew Israelites to come to the fold. But only the elect is going to be able to attain the truth, while the rest are going to be blinded in gross darkness. They will get caught up in the bloodshed, the strife, and the calamity. Okay, because we're headed into a time of Jacob's trouble where Esau Edom's not playing. He's openly telling you that you have to be part of the CBDC. You have to implant something under your skin. Okay, they're openly telling you that we're tracking your every movement and what you say and what you do. Okay, and if you say certain things, that you won't be able to do you won't be able to have the dainties that you once had. Okay, it says that make a man an offender for a word and lay a snare, which is what, a trap for him that reproveth in the gate and turn aside just for a thing of naught. Okay, through what, their trickery, through their lies, through their sorcery. A lot of people are going to fall into the wiles of the devil, because what's happening is the food supply it's a manufactured famine. Okay, as far as they're cutting off certain supplies in certain stores, and also they're pushing inflation and hyperinflation on the people, but the wages are staying the same, which means that it creates order out of chaos, order out of chaos in the Latin. Okay, and also another method, which is the Hegelian dialectic, which is pressure from below, pressure from above. Having those that don't have the eyesight to be able to see, they're going to crack and fold, while the men of the Lord and the believers are going to endure hardness like a good soldier, knowing that Yahweh Shema Shai has our back. Isaiah 65:13 is one of the scriptures that comes to mind, far as the food, water, and the shelter the Lord's going to provide for his servants, while the rest of the world is going to, lack thereof. Okay, because they lack the wisdom, they lack the knowledge thereof, so the Lord has rejected them. Okay, Adawan Rataza were able to endure to the end. Isaiah 29:21. Those who convict the innocent, and that's what they're doing, they're convicting the innocent by calling us extremists, calling us radicalists, okay, by their false testimony. Yeah, it's false testimony, because everything they speak is an abomination to the Lord. Everything they speak is with the, let me get a scripture. Psalms 5:9. For there is no faithfulness in their mouth. Their inward part is very wickedness. Their throat is an open sepulchre. Their flattery with their tongue. So they flatter with their tongue amongst their satanic, cult, or satanic people, as far as Esau, Edom, and these different heathen nations. When they're together, they're laughing about how they're taking peace from the earth. Okay, how they're joined one to another, how they're going to be able to bring in their new world order, because they believe they have it in the bag. Okay, even though they have fear upon them, far as they see the men of the Lord on the highways and the byways, but the Lord is pushing forth that pride, because the Lord is the one that stirs up the king to the battle. Okay, and he's stirring them up to be able to fight, even though they're going to lose, with the KO. Okay, it's going to be, flawless, because the story has already been written from the beginning. Let's read this in the NLT. Psalms 5:9. My enemies cannot speak a truthful word, so they can't speak a truthful word. Okay, and now they're openly, so their lies and as far as their deception, they can't deceive anymore, so they're openly just coming out and being carnal. Okay, my enemies cannot speak a truthful word. Their deepest desire is to destroy others. Their talk is foul like a stench from an open grave. Their tongues are filled with flattery. Yeah, they're constantly engaged in being proud. Okay, that's why they'll say you will own nothing and be happy. They'll come with their suit and ties, with their bald face, and they'll openly say that we don't believe in the Most High. Okay, and it speaks about that the fool had said in his heart, there is no God. And they're coming forth with their artificial intelligence Bible, okay, that they could be able to have immortality, when the only immortality is going to be for the Israelites, the Hebrew Israelites, not for you heathen nations. Okay, and you Edomites are gonna have, you're gonna be 1,000 years of hardcore slavery once your kingdom is destroyed here. Okay, and then you will be Obadiah 1:18. You will go in hardcore slave for 1,000 year period, and then you will be exterminated because there's no need for wickedness. There's no need for open sepulcher. Okay, there's no need for flattery because the Lord's only coming for what, the meek and the lowly. He's not coming for the proud and the boastful. Okay. Isaiah 29:21, those who convict the innocent by their false testimony will disappear. And I was just speaking about that, Obadiah 1:18. A similar fate awaits those who use trickery to pervert justice. Yeah, that's what they're using, is trickery. Okay, by you, they had a legislation as far as the Constitution or the Bill of Rights. Every country has had some form of laws. Okay, even though they don't follow them, but they have some form of laws, and now they're openly saying we don't need those laws anymore. We're coming with our own thing. As I want to go into the article, a similar fate, Saki, a similar fate awaits those who use trickery. Again, when you go into trickery, it goes into the wiles. Okay, it goes into the wiles of the devil. He's using, far as sorcery, far as on the television, TikTok, all these different things to paint certain narratives. And they'll have certain people, these cult of personalities, come out and they'll act like they're against something when actually they're for it. Okay, like Ice Cube I've been seeing him a lot, and he's nothing but an insider. Okay, far as and one of the things how he's an insider, because look what he did with his own son. He knows how the industry is. He's saying all these things that are against the industry, but he's still in the industry, and he's also put his son in the industry now. Okay, showing you that he's an insider, and they haven't took away none of his money or anything like that. They paint they pay these guys to be out there to act like they're anti whatever the government's pushing, but they're actually for it. Okay, Isaiah 29:21 in the middle. A similar fate awaits those who use trickery to pervert justice and who tell lies to destroy the innocent. And that's what they do. They tell lies to destroy the innocent, because what they're going to do is deem the Bible as being extremists, as being radicalists, which they already have passed in the Department of Homeland Security, where they had a bulletin last year where it spoke about they're coming after faith-based groups. Okay, and that's all we have is faith. Okay, the Lord has given us faith and given us hope, and through that faith as a mustard seed, this mountain, this government top, Esau Edom's reign, is being destroyed. Okay, and that's why they got to come in and be cardinal like this. So let's read this again. WEF orders governments to prepare for billions of social credit prisoners as spy bills enacted around the world. Privacy will soon become totally obsolete. The World Economic Forum has been quietly granted backdoor access to billions of cell phones as part of a plot to compile blacklists of users who hold political incorrect views and commit wrong speak. So wrong speak is just like newspeak, where they're saying something. What they're doing is something that was a word that was, now they're changing it. Okay, and let's just get a couple scriptures on that, because it says they were backdooring it, as far as they're not passing their own laws, or they're not following their own laws. Okay, and they're not following, most importantly, they're not following the laws of Yahweh Shema Shai, because they are the wicked. Isaiah 10:1, woe, which means destruction unto them that decree unrighteous decrees. A decree is a law. Unrighteous decrees that write grievousness. So these things are grievousness to the people that have to comply to them, because at the top, they don't comply to none of their laws. That's why they're able to, Psalm 73 speaks about they're not in trouble like others. They're able to go about the four corners of the earth, rape, rob, and pillaging. And when it comes down time for their judgment, they're able to get away because of their money and because of their influence. Okay, and that right grievousness which they have prescribed. So they have prescribed these different legislations in their think tanks. Okay, in their Bilderberg meetings, their COP27 meetings, their Bohemian Grove meetings. Okay, they have Micah 2:1. Well, let me get that real quick. I don't want to go back to that. Micah 2:1. They had advised iniquity upon their beds when the morning is light. They practice it. Let me just get it. Micah 2:1. Woe unto them that devise iniquity and work evil upon their beds. When the morning is light, they practice it, because it is in the power of their hands. So they're devising iniquity, sin upon sin. Okay, they think an evil thought in their bedchambers, and then they go in the morning, they go to their laboratories or they go to their think tanks and they brainstorm on how they can be able to push this wickedness on the people because they have been given power for a very short time by Yahweh Shemashai on what the left hand side. Okay, but the Lord has given us wisdom to not be ignorant of Satan's devices, right? To not be ignorant of what this devil is doing. Okay, 2 Corinthians 2:11, lest Satan should get advantage of us, for we are not ignorant of his devices. And devices are what evil schemes that he's plotting. And this is an evil scheme by them, tapping into your phone, which they already been doing. That's clear. That's already, but now they're just openly telling you it. Okay. So going back to this is Isaiah 10:1. I always go into this. This is in the NET. It says the Isaiah 10:1 in the NET. Those who enact unjust policies are good as dead. Those who are always instituting unfair regulations. So again, their policies they're pushing forth on the people, what creates mass death, creates iniquity, creates destruction. Okay, which is what they want because they are that vessel of wrath fitted for destruction, which is the so-called white man. Let me read this again. Isaiah 10:1 in the NET. Those who enact unjust policies, and that's an unjust policy, watching what you're doing. And what are they also doing? When you're with your woman, they're spying and listening onto what you're doing. When you're having sex with your woman, they're watching you on your TV if you have a TV in your room, okay, or whatever that you're doing in your house. They're constantly watching you because it speaks about it. 1 Peter 5:5-8. There as a roaring lion seeking whom he may devour. Okay, they're constantly watching, sitting in the lurking places. Isaiah 10, Lord willing, I get some of those scriptures. Okay, they're watching you through what? Their technology. Okay, their technology, and also even with the technology, you have where a man's foes are going to be of his own household. You're going to have our own people telling on us, especially your own family, the ones that are closest to you. Okay, because again, what's going to happen is they're going to be pushing forth the sorcery and the enchantments, okay, on the people, okay, and those that are not in the know, they're not going to be ready for it with this thing that's coming down because this is going to be a time of trouble like never before. Okay, let me read this again. Isaiah 10:1 in the NET. Those who enact unjust policies are good as dead. Those who are always instituting unfair regulations. So they're constantly always instituting unfair regulations. They'll pass a bill from 2-3 years ago, and then they'll wait to be able to actually put it in a place. For instance, the Executive Order 14067, where it speaks about the digital dollar going away. Okay, Slakia, not the digital Slakia, the cash going away and then bringing in the digital dollar, which we know that to be what the CBDC, okay, which coming into play, which is not the MOT to the B, but it's gradualism to it. Okay, it's gradualism to it. Okay, they're painting the CBDC as something it's able to help. Meanwhile, it's actually the MOT to the B that's coming, far as the final stage, far as its prophecy. So, yeah, compile blacklists of users who hold politically incorrect views and commit wrong speech. So this blacklist is going to lead to what is a siege, okay, which is the same thing they did back in the 70 AD, and the same thing they're going to do now. Okay, what was written for our foretime was written for our learning, that we may have hope. Okay, roughly paraphrasing that. Deuteronomy 28:52, and he shall besiege thee in all thy gates, okay, until thy high fence walls come down, wherein thou trusted throughout all the land, and he shall besiege thee in all thy gates throughout all the land which Yahweh thy power had given thee. Okay, so you have where they're putting up the fences over here in San Diego. Okay, they're putting up these fences, San Diego, Mexico border. They're putting up the fences, okay, to have the people that are in America stay in America. And then what are they doing? They're openly letting in the immigrants, okay? And they're not just the so-called Mexicans, okay? They're Chinese, and there's all sorts of sleeper cells in those things. And it's because it's to formulate a bigger plan, okay? Because they have where they have a thing called Black Swan, okay, and also polycrisis, where there's going to be many different crises on the horizon, okay, and they also want those immigrants to be able to live with certain people, and they're putting them in these different motels and things like that. And this is for a bigger plan, to be able to either push forth more pestilence or to have these people do certain things for a bag. Okay, and this is where we're at, where that's why it speaks about be ye circumspect. Okay, paying attention to what's going on. Okay, not engaged in the things of this world, because the things of this world will get you killed. So this word siege, real quick, and the Google definition: a siege, a military operation in which an enemy forces surround a town or a building, cutting off essential supplies with the aim of compelling the surrender of those inside. So what are the essential supplies? Food, water, shelter. The food, far as I spoke about the stores, okay? Victuals shall be so good, cheap on the earth. Far as you thought they were cheap, now they're going to be expensive, okay? Or they're not going to be in the store. These storehouses are going to be closed. Also, you see the people that are running into these stores destroying it, and a lot of these businesses are just closing up. Okay, you have the water, where you have the train wreckage. They're spilling chemicals into the water, which creates where the water is not able to be used. Especially on the Mississippi, a lot of people use that water. Okay, then you have the drought over here in one of the lakes in Nevada. I believe it's I forgot exactly what lake it is, but the lake, what it does is a Lake Mead. I believe it's Lake Mead, and Lake Mead, that provides a lot of the water that comes down to Southern California, as far as the so-called good water. Okay, but even with that, there's mercury and fluoride in the water. But the thing is that they're actually openly putting, these trains are just falling into the water, creating all sorts of contamination. Then you have also the things that they're putting in the sky. So these are the different sieges where people that lack of knowledge, okay, they're going to go down to the modern day Egyptian for help. They're going to go and say, well, let me just follow what Esau's doing. Okay, while the men of the Lord and the believers are not going to follow it, not going to fall for it, because they're not ignorant of Satan's devices. Okay, that this is a siege, and they're besieging the walls. They're locking it down. Okay, cutting off the essentials. Okay, and because of what you say, they're making you offender for a word. Okay, this is according to a World Economic Forum insider. These blacklists of so-called deplorables. Okay, let's look up this word deplorables. I think I might actually have it right here. Yeah, deplorables. Yeah, it says the meaning. Example of deplorable: a brick making industry. No, let's see. It says, what does deplorable behavior mean? If you say that something is deplorable, you think that it is very bad or unacceptable. And that's what these people are saying. They're saying that certain people are undeplorable. Why? Because we're not contrary to Esau Edom's likings. Okay? We were made to reprove their thoughts, as far as the true men of the Lord. Okay? Let me just get that real quick. This is Wisdom of Solomon 2 and 12. Wisdom of Solomon 2 and 12. Therefore, let us lie in wait for the righteous, because he is not, and this is the mindset of Esau Edom, and this is what he's saying in his head. Okay, therefore let us lie in wait for the righteous, which is who? The men, the true men of the Lord, because he is not for our turn. Yeah, so we're not down with your new world order. And he is clean contrary to our doings. Yeah, we're clean contrary to their doings, because we're pushing forth righteousness through the power of Yahweh Shemashai, and they're pushing forth wickedness. We're on the opposite sides of the spectrum. And he is clean contrary to our doings. He upbraided us with defending the law, not following their laws, as far as this is going to be deemed a law. Now, right now in this point, we're supposed to, we follow, we obey the laws, as far as we're not going out there committing crimes. But when it comes down to the MOT to the B, when they offer it up, as far as, for instance, when you had the jump shots, okay, brothers didn't take the jump shot, and that they were pushing that heavy by saying, if you don't do this, they're gonna have your we're gonna take, the government's gonna take your livelihood. Okay, and they were just openly threatening people about that, but they didn't actually make it a law. Okay, but brothers were against that, and that's one sign of it. That was just gradualism to what they're actually going to do with the MOT to the B, because they wanted to see where people were at, who was going to comply and who wasn't. Okay, going into them again, categorizing. Okay, when you go into that word accuser in Revelation 12, it speaks about that accuser, which goes into categorize, I believe, in the Greek, which means to, put in categories. That's why, um, brothers that are being, not brother, I'm not even going to say those are brothers, because people that are being carnal, okay, as far as they're carrying guns to camps, that's not brotherly love, because a carnal mind is enmity with the Lord. How we wound our adversaries is 2 Maccabees 15 and 15 down to 16. Okay, it was with this holy sword, which is this Bible. That's how we wound our adversaries. That's how they're getting cut. That's why they're passing censorship. Okay, we're not supposed to gather up arms. That carnality is that carnality is going to catch up with those people that are pushing forth that. And it's going to be a sign. It's going to be a picture on the news of them with the Bible holding a strap, and that's Esau Edom's blessing. Okay, and that's clear as day. That's going to be coming out, because that's one of the things they want to, frame us as is niggas, spicks, and wetbacks, as just ignorant people, because that's ignorant. You know what I'm saying? Because that's not what the Lord did. Okay, so Wisdom of Solomon 2 and 12. It says, therefore let us lie in wait for the righteous, because he is not for our turn. He is clean contrary to our doings. He upbraided us with defending the law. He object to our infamy of the transgressions of our education. Yeah, so going into the indoctrination that they do in the educational system, because it's nothing but to have you be a slave. He professed to have the knowledge of our power. He called himself the child of the Lord. He was made to reprove our thoughts. And that's what the true men of the Lord were made to do, reprove their thoughts, reprove and rebuke them, even though Esau Edom will never get right. Okay, but we're here to do a job, far as put that inquisition on Esau Edom and make this devil, make this devil bear. Okay. It says 15, he is grievous unto us even to behold, for his life is not like other men's, his ways are not of another fashion. So we're not going to follow the MOT to the B, because our fashion is not to be here. Okay, our fashion is to be with Yahweh Shema Shai. Okay, skipping down, and then this is what they're going to do. They're going to test us. Okay, as far as with these unrighteous decrees, with these draconian measures. Okay, Wisdom of Solomon 2 and 17. Let us see if their words be true, and let us prove that what shall happen in the end of them. For if the just man be of the son of the power, Yahweh Shema Shai, he will help him, and he will deliver him from the hands of the enemies. Let us examine him with the spitefulness and torture, that we may know the meekness and prove his patience. That's why they have the FEMA camps, because they have the smart guillotines. They have where they're going to have the firing squads be brought back. Okay, they have all sorts of torture mechanisms that we don't even know about. Okay, but when you read the Wisdom of Solomon 3, it speaks about we shall fear no torment. Okay, and that ultimately that's to try us and test us. Okay, 20, let us condemn him with a shameful death, for by his own saying he shall be respected. So it's not a shameful death when you die for what? Righteousness, because ultimately death is actually you just going to the spirit world and being with Yahweh Shai and being at peace. Okay, because all things are in order in the heavens. Okay, but it's going to be like that on earth. Our Father's prayer, as it is in heaven, it shall be on earth. Okay, this place has to be cleansed. Okay, Wisdom of Solomon 2 and 21. Such things they did imagine, and we deceive, for his own wickedness had blinded them. So their own wickedness has blinded them, far as their pride. Okay, as for the mysteries of our power, Yahweh Shema Shai, they knew them not, neither hope their wages of righteousness, nor discern a reward for the blameless souls. So they thought they were going to be able to have their new one order jumping off, but they didn't realize their reward is going to be the Lord, condemning this place and destroying them, and they will be in hardcore slavery. Okay, that's why that inquisition is being put on them, as far as them being made bare. Wisdom of Solomon 1 and 7. Let me get 8. Wisdom of Solomon 1 and 8. Therefore he speaketh unrighteous things, and this is an unrighteous thing. Spying on people, telling people if you say this certain thing, you will be put in this camp, or you won't be able to do certain things. Okay, therefore he speak unrighteous things cannot be hid. So they're not hid. They're being right out in the open. Now they're openly coming out and telling you, you got to get an implant of a C-hip inside of you. Okay, you have to comply with our mandates. If you say anything, what did he say? You will own nothing and be happy. Okay, therefore he that speaketh unrighteous things cannot be hid, neither shall vengeance when he is punished pass by him. So the Lord is not unrighteous to Slakim. The Lord will not at all acquit the wicked. Nahum 1 and 3. Okay, Wisdom of Solomon 1 and 9 for the Inquisition. An Inquisition is a heavy testimony, okay, in a courtroom setting of the elect, of the hopeful elect, what testifying against our oppressor and pointing them out and saying, where were you, where were you in 1776? Where were you, in 2023? Okay, where were you when these certain things happened when the MOT, just yesterday, June 10th, June 10th, 2023, when you said that you were going to bring out the CBDC and it has to be implanted under your skin. Where were you then? That's the Inquisition. And the men of the Lord are what? Testifying in an open courtroom setting. And who's the judge? Our Lord Yahweh Shai. Okay? For inquisition shall be made unto the counsels of the ungodly. Who's the ungodly? Esau Edom. He's the wicked. The sounds of this word shall come unto the Lord for the manifestation of his wicked deeds. So the sounds of the Lord, their evil, wicked plots and their plans are being brought back to the heavens because the men of the Lord are what? Reporting on them. Okay, reporting on this devil and making it clear. Okay, in a public setting, right out there in the open. But only the elect's going to be able to attain the truth. Far as only the elect's going to be able to actually hear it, because it's in an open setting, but it's actually a secret. It's actually a secret because not everyone knows it. Okay, as far as who the wicked is and what the will of the Lord actually is. Wisdom of Solomon 1 and 16. But ungodly men with their works and their words called it to them. For when they thought to have it their friend, so what did they think to have their friend? That Satan was their friend. Okay, when Satan actually works for Yahweh Shem Shai, okay, they are the physical counterpart of the spiritual demon of Satan. Okay, Esau Edom. So they bow down to Baal, they bow down to all these different gods, but they don't understand that Yahweh Shem Shai is the one that controls that left hand side. Okay, that's why they're ungodly, because they know not their maker. But the ungodly men with their works and their words called it to them, for when they thought to have it their friend, they consumed it to naught and made a covenant with it, because they were worthy to take part with it. So they made a covenant with what? With death. Okay, which is ultimately Yahweh Shai has victory over death. Okay, going back to this article. It says, according to a World Economic Forum insider, these blacklists of so-called deplorables will be used to assign social credit score to people before the social credit scheme is officially rolled out in the next few years. Okay. Klaus Schwab's evil plan is paying out to perfection in France, where the WEF puppet Emmanuel Macron has granted the global elite permission to spy on every single French citizen by turning on the camera and microphones and cell phones without a warrant or any kind of notification. So I went into that, the unrighteous decrees there, and also Revelation 13:11. Okay, they're starting to be more draconian, where they're not following none of their legislation or Bill of Rights or Constitution or whatever you want to call it. They're not following none of that, and they're coming with their own. Okay, that's why it's important to what? Believe these devils not, because there is what? Proverbs 26 and 25, when he speaketh fair, believe him not, for there are 7 abominations in his heart. Okay, and France is one of the part of the NATO system. Okay, it's part of what the beast system. Okay, you have America that spearheads what the revival of the Roman Empire, which is the beast system, and then you have the NATO and the EU. Okay, which are also part of that, and that consists of, it started with 10, now it's about 28 to 30 different nations. Okay, and they're all speaking on one mind. When you read Revelation 17 and 13, they're all in one mind and one accord. Okay, when he speaketh fair, believe him not, for there are 7 abominations in his heart. So 7 goes into completion. So there's a complete number of wickedness in this devil. Okay, and he's not to be trusted. Proverbs 26 and 25 and the NLT, they pretend to be kind, but don't believe them. Yeah, they pretend to be kind. They'll come with their bald face, with their shirt and tie, which that tie is also symbolic to wickedness. Okay, and they'll come with their unrighteous decrees. They'll smile, they'll hand five. They'll, you have Pedo Joe walking the other way, walking all different ways. These dudes, you have Macaroon getting slapped. You have Macaroon also getting exposed that his wife is actually a man. Okay, so all sorts of things are happening, but Satan's doing his job, because that's what he was set up to do, is to be the wicked. Okay, and blessed are your eyes for you see and your ears for you hear. Tawada Yahweh Shema Shai, for being able to have the eyesight to be able to see all this evil. Ultimately, this shows that we're at the end, where righteousness shall overcome. Proverbs 26 and 25. They pretend to be kind, but don't believe them. Their hearts are full of many evils. Okay? It says, while their hatred may be concealed by trickery, their wrongdoing will be exposed in public. So that's what's happening right now. They're being exposed in public for their wickedness. Okay? And that article that came out yesterday, I did a lesson about it, of the CBDC wanting to implant under your skin. They're openly telling you about what they want to do. Okay? They're being exposed in public for what their evils. Okay, of what they want to do, because the Lord has given his servants, the prophets, okay, the vision to be able to give the body, okay, the breakdown of the scriptures, to be able to be comforted in this time, to be able to know what MOT to the B is, okay, which is something physical they want to embed inside of you. Proverbs 26 and 27. If you set a trap for others, you will get caught in it yourself. If you roll a boulder down on others, you will crush you instead. So if they rolled that stone far as his wickedness, and now it's what? It's going to crush upon their own head. It says, a lying tongue hates its victims, and a flattering words cause ruin. So again, the words that you speak are very important. Okay, and what are they speaking about? They're speaking about wickedness. Okay. This is words. Let's see. A couple of scriptures on that. This is Slakia. Let me read this again. Proverbs 26 and 28. It says, a lying tongue hate those that are afflicted by it, and a flattering mouth worketh ruin. Yeah, flattering mouth, and that's what they're doing. They're flattering themselves. Okay? But this is, what is that, Proverbs 8. Oh, wait, let's go back. Okay, I want to get one more scripture. This is Psalms 109. Psalms 109 and 2. For the mouth of the wicked are in the mouth of the deceitful are open against me. They have spoken against me with the lying tongue. And that's what they're beginning to do. They've been doing it, but now they're just openly speaking about it with a lying tongue. And that's why they want to spy on the people and watch every move that they say. Okay? And because they show no mercy, they shall have no mercy. Let me go back to the script real quick, or the article, Slakia. It says, riots have rocked France for weeks now, with thousands of builders destroyed, libraries and museums torched, and Christians publicly raped and murdered across the entire country. And notice how they put that in there, okay? Because they want to attack the churches. Even if they're not speaking the truth, they want to attack these churches because they're going to deem the Bible as radicalists or extremists. French police and mainstream media cannot even keep track of which towns have been totally burned to the ground. So this is that order out of chaos I was speaking about. This is the Hegelian dialectic, which I have a couple. What is the Hegelian dialectic? The Hegelian dialectic is where the ruling elite create a problem, anticipating in advance and the reaction of the population to a crisis, and thus conditioning the people to call for change. Yeah, and that's what was happening. That was all started over, I believe it was an Israelite. Okay, because they said it was about systemic racism. As far as I did a lesson about that, and I believe it to be a Jake or a person that with dark skin. Okay, and then that's how that whole rioting started. Okay, because what do they want? They want the Hebrew Israelites. They want them out in the open in the streets doing crazy stuff. Okay, because that's the perpetual hatred that Esau Edom has. It says when the population is properly conditioned, the desired agenda of the ruling elite is presented as the solution. The solution that present present is not intended to solve the problem, but to serve as the basis for a new problem, or extrapolate the existing one. When the newly created problem reaches boiling point, it becomes the foundation of the people to clamor for change again. This process is repeated over and over all the time, moving society towards whatever the endpoint that their mind, it says whatever endpoint they have in their mind, problem, reaction, solution. Okay, and with that CHIP, okay, embedded inside of people, they can be able to track their every movement. That's why they have facial recognition, okay, going around, because it's gradualism to the MOT to the B. But really what it is they want your every movement. They want to know everything that you're doing. Okay, that's why they have this right here. The military's expanded role in 5G could lead to mass data collection, tracking, monitoring of U.S. citizens. Okay, and now the WEF is saying it. So you have America that's saying it, and then what do you have? You have the Eagle, Department of Homeland Security. Okay, the military. Because what? They're domestically going to be coming down on the people. Okay, and they're going to be using the technology, the smart. The word smart refers to self-monitoring analysts and reporting technology, the smart meters. Okay, that's why there was a lady that was reporting on this a lot. I forgot her name. It was an older lady. And basically those smart monitors that be on people's houses, they were basically catching on fire. Okay, because Esau Edom wanted the people out of that land, and those people wouldn't sell their land. And what do? They had those smart monitors go off, which is ultimately destroyed their housing. Smart cars, why? So you can't be able to travel or maneuver. That the smart cars will just shut off when they want them to. Okay, smartphones, so they can be able to again track your data and where you're going. Smart homes, so they can be able to listen in on everything that you're doing. Smart watches, to be able to control your vibration of your body. Smart cities, these 15-minute cities. Okay, ultimately to be able to surveil you, watch your every movement. Okay, and I read that the 5G. See, that's what they have in New York City. Okay, what you see right there, that's that 5G tower, and that creates all sorts of frequency that pops off in your head, which creates these people to be bugged out, especially if they have that jump shot. Okay, and ultimately this is leading to this right here. Okay, this is the 6G. This is the individual that took the CHIP. Okay, now you're linked into the community, the other people that took the CHIP. Okay, now you have a whole society of CHIPs, a 15-minute city, and now you're connected into all these different machines and things. And what does this all lead to? Your destruction. Okay, and this is what the Lord has given us the warning. This is the type of society that Esau Edom wants. Okay, which creates all sorts of and I'm not even going to go into the list of things that happen to you. Okay, but Revelation 14:9 speaks about the judgment for taking that seat. If you have no rest during the night, and you will get caught up in the hypersonic missiles. Okay, natural resources, manufacturing capabilities, resource, transport, food. So basically, that's all the stuff that's spoken about in that word Mark, Revelation 13:17. When you go into the word Mark, it goes into grapho. Okay, when you go into the Greek, it goes into the word grapho. Okay, and it speaks about the information, the information that they will have, and that will be all your smart information that they've already have on you. Okay, so it just kind of goes into the different things, what they're speaking about. Okay. But let me get a scripture. This is Psalms 10:2. Psalms 10:2. The wicked in his pride do persecute the poor. Let them be taken in the vices they have imagined. Yeah, they're going to be taken in the things that they thought they're going to be able to get Jake fallen for. But we have to be what? Patient. Patient in what? The Lord. Psalms 37:7. Rest in Yahweh and wait patiently for him. Fret not thyself because of him that prosper in his way, because of the man that bringeth wicked devices to pass. And that's what he's doing. He's bringing wicked devices to pass. He's setting up traps and snares. And we're being watched at every moment. Okay? This is Psalms 37. And now what you say, could be, will be held accountable. Far as if you're against the regime or what you follow, what you subscribe to, you won't be able to buy and sell certain things. Okay. Psalms 37 and 32. The wicked watch the righteous and seek to slay him. So they're watching the righteous, seeking to slay him, but they can't touch the very elect. Okay. Why? Because they have the protection and the refuge and the shelter of Yahweh Shemashai surrounded around them. The Lord Yahweh will not leave him in his hand, nor condemn when he is judged. So the Lord's not going to leave us. Okay, wait on Yahweh and keep his way, and he shall exalt thee to inherit the land. When the wicked are cut off, they shall see it. So when the wicked are cut off, the elect are going to be able to see. It speaks about that Revelation 15, where it speaks about the sea glass mingled and looking down at the destruction. Okay, I don't want to of that number. 35, I have seen the wicked in great power and spreading himself like a green bay tree. So that's what he's doing with the WEF. They have over 197 countries where these countries have signed up for sovereignty. Okay, where they're giving away their rights and giving it to the WEF, and it will be controlled by a blockchain which will be centralized. Going into sovereignty means no rights. You won't have no rights, and they can be able to go in and do whatever they want, whatever the things are. And one of them is what, spying on you and bringing forth the social credit system. And if they don't like what you say, they'll put you in these camps. Okay. And they're spreading themselves like a Green Bay tree. They're all, it's an oikomen sense throughout the four corners of the earth. Okay. Psalms 37 and 38. But the transgressor shall fall. It says, but the transgressors shall be destroyed together. The end of the wicked shall be cut off. But the salvation of the righteous is of Yahweh. He is their strength in the time of trouble. So the time of Jacob's trouble, the hour of temptation, where these things will be implemented, the Lord is going to intervene. And that would be considered the sixth trouble or the hour of temptation, where the Lord will intervene for his very elect. Adam Ratazar of that number. Psalms 37 and 40, and Yahweh shall help them. So the Lord's going to help us in the time of trouble, food, water, and shelter, and wisdom. And the Lord Yahweh shall help them and deliver them, and he shall deliver them from the wicked and save them because they trust in him. So who's going to trust in him? The very elect are going to trust in Yahweh Hashem Shai. They're not going to trust in what the Egyptian that shall help in vain. Okay, even if they're in one, let me get one of these scriptures, Revelation 2 and 10. Even if they're put in these different camps. Okay, because the Lord also gave us the warning about that. Revelation 2 and 10. Fear none of these things which thou shalt suffer. Behold, the devil shall cast some of you into prison. Who's the devil? Esau, Edom. Devil means deceiver, and that's the so-called white man of today. Okay, he's deceiving you with his trickery and the wiles of the devil. Okay, but the elect are not going to bow down to this devil. Shall cast some of you into prison. You have these different FEMA camps that you may be tried. So again, going into being tested, you may be tried, and you shall have tribulation 10 days. And 10 days goes into the number 10 means what? Perfection. Okay, so it could be 10 days, or it could be less, or it could be more. Okay, but it's going to be a perfect number of days that you will be tested to see if you're of the Lord's or if you're of the world's. It says that you may be tried and shall have tribulation 10 days. Be thou faithful unto death. Be thou faithful unto death, because some of us, Revelation 20 and 4, shall be beheaded for the truth. Okay, but that's a righteous thing to what? Be a martyr for Yahweh Shemashai. You shall have tribulation 10 days. Be thou faithful unto death, and I will give thee a crown of life. So immortality, salvation, new bodies. Okay, seeing our enemies put down. So with that, call Yahweh Ba'Hashem Yahushai Ba'Hashem Rakakwadash. Shalom to the elect. Kwam Yashala.